Now, Vegeta's new Super Saiyan power in the early Android saga was no joke. Before Piccolo's fusion, Vegeta was potentially the strongest warrior on Earth during that time, minus the androids. Yes, even more than Goku as stated, or incited to be, whichever you prefer. Vegeta had admitted that Piccolo's new power later had surpassed himself, and that power rivaled Android 17. But it was also stated that Android 17 was the stronger of the two androids, which means Android 18 would be less than Piccolo. But where does that compare to Super Saiyan Vegeta? If we were to casually guess this, we would straight away assume Android 18 is stronger than Super Saiyan Vegeta, because she beat him. Not light years ahead, but definitely stronger, plus the infinite stamina advantage, right? That's a casual guess, and it's justified. But what was the primary factor that 18 defeated Vegeta? Was it her raw strength, or was it something to do with infinite stamina? Or maybe a little bit of both. Let's check out the manga. The fight begins with Vegeta going on the attack and 18 rebounding. The two appear somewhat equal at the beginning, and Android 17 states multiple times he is impressed at Vegeta's power, and a lot stronger than Jiro's data said. He doesn't appear too concerned though, probably because of his own confidence in his own self being stronger than 18 as well, and assured he could take him on no matter what. But nonetheless, the Super Saiyan's power here is no joke. Interestingly, Android 18 admits Vegeta wasn't using his full energy power when he tried to blast her, yet she found the need to dodge it, which should raise a question about Vegeta's level of power here, if she truly was a tank here. And assessing his power in the first skirmish, why dodge? Why not tank it and show the superior amount of power? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? Both are holding back right now. She admits she's holding back just like Vegeta, and so both of them go full power, only for her jump in power to take Vegeta completely by surprise, dealing with him with ease, making a mess out of him. Now at this point, is Vegeta at full power yet, or was he just caught off guard by 18's sudden jump up? It's debatable. I will talk more about Vegeta's mentality in a bit, but this is a classic example of him having too much overconfidence in his newly acquired Super Saiyan form and underestimating his opponent. Vegeta is in a constant state of arrogance now that he is a Super Saiyan. It's definitely a piece of the puzzle to do with his loss. Vegeta gets back up and the others arrive, and Vegeta laughs off the attack. Now this could be just to protect his own image. He did look a bit ruffled. But now he's realizing Android 18's true strength, not wanting to appear weak in front of everyone now he's a Super Saiyan. Remember, this guy is protecting his pride hard here. And going into this battle, Vegeta believes that he cannot be beaten. He is so blinded by his own strength that he has underestimated the enemy. He is making silly mistakes, and if he's outdone during the fight, he resorts to anger and disbelief towards 18. You can see it in his expressions. Whilst 18 is remaining calm, and for Vegeta to be like this is not the way to fight against an android with unlimited energy. This is not how to conserve and use energy efficiently if you're raging out and throwing your hardest hits to the wind. But nevertheless, Vegeta, after getting hit by 18, still feels like he's got a fighting chance. That's because he has taken on her hardest hits. But the problems start to arise, which brings me to 18's infinite stamina. You see, Vegeta did not want to believe they had infinite energy. He thought it was a load of nonsense, and only his true Super Saiyan Android Saga Vegeta fanboy power is all that matters, raw Saiyan strength. This is the problem with Vegeta's approach to battle. The guy had the wrong mindset, and he wasted his opportunities for being effective by instead being an arrogant prick and lowering his guard at times. Not using his brain like the Vegeta we would expect. Where were all the strategies? But let us continue the fight with 18. This is the best part. Android 17 flat out admits Android 18 cannot handle Vegeta and the others by herself, which goes to show you that 18 is worth no higher than 2 Super Saiyans plus 1 Namekian. I'm not counting Krillin and Tien here, sadly, because we all know how much they were screwed over here in the Android saga in terms of power relevance. So think about that. If Piccolo here is not the level of a Super Saiyan, he's strong but not that level, then 18 is no more than 2 to 3 times better than Vegeta, which is a huge deal in its own right, but something to consider. Super Saiyan Vegeta should not be counted out here though in terms of raw strength, because like I said, 2 to 3 times better, not stronger. There is an important difference there. Remember, she had the stamina advantage to take on everyone. In terms of raw power, right now, her and Vegeta do indeed appear level as displayed. When full power 18 punches him flat out in the face, Vegeta instantly rebounds with a tackle and double axe handles her to the ground. If 18 was physically stronger and faster here, Vegeta wouldn't have bested her in this raw skirmish, and hell, not even hit her. she would have tanked that without being hit down to the dirt. You could seriously justify placing these two at close levels of power and speed when they are at their best. But that doesn't mean Vegeta is better than 18. Like I said, stamina. 18 retains her best for the whole fight, whilst Vegeta does not. He gets weaker, and that's what brings Vegeta to his knees in just a moment. You see, everyone in this community keeps sucking the dick of how strong someone is, when in fact, the logistics of this battle is fully stated and told to be based around stamina and conditioning, which is just as important as power. We can both have a car that does 200 miles per hour, but what's the point in racing if your car can only maintain that speed for 5 seconds, whereas mine can go all day at 200 miles per hour without needing any fuel? Do you get it now? Android 18 gets hit with a thunderous blast by Vegeta. Whether that was Vegeta's best blast is unknown because it was launched instantly with hardly no charge up time. 18 eventually gets up like the Terminator. She is showing no expressions and causes Vegeta to wonder if she's taken any damage at all. She obviously does receive damage, but whether she portrays injury and feeling from pain is another story. But it is clearly at this point where the tables turn for good. Despite Vegeta appearing to hold his own, which is very true, he does hold his own, but on an equal playing field or playing defensive against 18, you ain't gonna win at all. Piccolo states every move Vegeta makes is weakening him, whilst 18 doesn't get weaker. She knows full well she's wearing him down. Now you have to think about this. 18 is using a brilliant tactic. She is purposely knowing she is wearing him down. His hits are getting weaker, she can feel it in the battle. And that's her strategy. Now ask yourselves this, why is she using that strategy and didn't earlier try to finish him off with raw strength? Because she couldn't. Vegeta could hold his own. Vegeta did have the power and speed at one point to fight against her, so she has to resort to wearing him down and exploit her broken stamina function. And this should tell you, if a clearly stated full power 18 has to use that option of lowering Vegeta's stamina and wearing him out, she clearly is not that much physically stronger than Vegeta in terms of raw power. Because you have to consider Piccolo versus 17, with both of them seemingly close in performance, Piccolo being stronger physically but 17 faster and better stamina. Imagine Piccolo entered that fight with the same stupid ass attitude Vegeta had, ignoring the infinite stamina and expending his energy in worthless anger spurts like Vegeta. Piccolo was fighting and pacing himself better against 17 and trying to bring him down like a goddamn manager, whereas Vegeta came across like this child who didn't get the toy he wanted. And to prove how much stronger than 17 is, he comes in and takes out Super Saiyan Trunks with one move and takes on Piccolo and the others with ease, despite 17 saying Android 18 could not do that alone. Now Vegeta and Trunks aren't light years apart either, but to think 18 just had a heated battle with a Super Saiyan, yet 17 cripples a Super Saiyan in one move, as well as beating up a few of the others, this should prove the difference between 17 and 18. They are definitely not the same power. But anyway, when Vegeta loses his stamina and power, and his only card to stay level with 18, she breaks his arm, and this basically is the end. He tries to fight back with pure anger, but it's a lost cause at this point. Stamina low, blasting without thinking, he's lost his warrior's mentality and battle focus, his pride is shattered, 18 knows she's got him. He's a predictable angry mess. So this is where I must ask you scholars, if both are closer than we thought in terms of raw power, could Vegeta have won this fight if he did not enter the battle with the overconfidence, with the ignorance of the infinite stamina, with the pressure and anger of defending his pride? What if Vegeta entered this battle as the smart Vegeta with a strategy? Does he have a hope in hell one-on-one if he played his cards right and used his energy wisely at certain points in the fight? Maybe some genius tactic. To beat someone with unlimited stamina, you gotta disable their limbs or kill them quick. And with the way Vegeta was fighting in the original story, it wasn't happening. He was blinded by rage, missing the hard hits, got lured into burning out. Only a really experienced, calm Vegeta could do this. A Vegeta like Resurrection F Vegeta. Vegeta in the Android saga had a huge battle weakness. That was when someone matched or surpassed his Super Saiyan power, he was off his game, lost in his own Super Saiyan legend bravado. To beat 18, you need to keep your goddamn cool. Killing 18 fast, someone of equal strength is also unlikely to complete that unless she lowered her guard, which is unlikely too. 18 would have to literally bend over for the Saiyan Prince to put a super Gallic gun up her ass that was charged for about 2 minutes with no interruptions, and that's not happening. Tactical combat, pressure point, chokeouts, limb disabling, the shit you hardly see in modern Dragon Ball, that is the stuff that Vegeta needed. Let's start at the beginning. If Vegeta took the infinite stamina seriously and not let his newly bubbly Super Saiyan juices govern his actions, how would this change the fight? Let's assume the arrogant, overconfident prick had somewhat vanished in order to combat this level of threat. He decided, okay, this infinite stamina thing sounds worse than expected. I'm not going to fly over there like a dick. Look, we know he wouldn't change his game, but let's assume a change did happen. Because what we want to know is, did Vegeta have the power to do the job if his mind was in it? One we assume would think, okay, this girl's got infinite stamina, she could be as strong as me, if not stronger. How do I trump her without getting eventually weakened and losing my ground? That's the Vegeta we needed for this fight, not a blinded super duper Saiyan. Now, I'm creating strategies here that obviously wouldn't play out with a plot, but let's remove plot and just go with combat logistics. So the one way I think would improve Vegeta's chances would first of all not underestimate 18 like he did. Secondly, to conserve his energy as best as he can in this fight and not do all the chasing. You see, in the anime, Vegeta did a lot of chasing and looked like he was wearing himself down as 18 just dodged the angry Saiyan all the time. Vegeta's endgame would be to hit this android with one of his biggest attacks and make sure it hits hard, enough in the right place to damage her. Or another means would be to play it smart and lure her in when he's not at full strength, so we can time a well executed move at full power, an arm lock, leg lock, a tactical disable of a limb. Anything with a sudden rise in full power hit, catching her off guard. Vegeta would know that if he continues to fight with 18, he's not going to gain ground. Therefore, he should think to remove his anger and not feed her empty punches. But can it really be done? In my opinion, yes, but with pure luck. Vegeta would really need to have executed the move well in the fight to outsmart 18, using his veteran fighting experience to catch her off guard, rather than take her head on. She's programmed to fight straight on like that. Now, in terms of full power blasting, yes, he may have used that against her in the original fight, but it didn't feel full power, as he still had power when he landed down and started to fight her. He only burned out in the final round with her when going all out. So let's assume he didn't use his best full power energy blast with lots of charge up time. The only way for Vegeta to collect enough energy and hit 18 hard to potentially injure her would be if she was off balance, off guard, and not intervening whilst he's collecting energy. 18 would be the type to either dodge it or just hit him hard while he's charging up. So how can he do it? Well, remember, she cannot sense energy, and maybe Vegeta could have used this to his advantage, but suddenly rising up unexpectedly, playing a weak game in the first round where 18 would feel comfortable in toying with him. Maybe he could have used his swagger and trick her into thinking she's superior and see if she would take his best attack head on, like he did to Cell, but somehow I don't think 18 would fall for that either. Vegeta doesn't know solar flares or anything like that. I don't think he's got any stun-only moves either. I don't think he would be able to land a hit on her to stun her long enough so he can charge up a massive attack, after she seemed to get up pretty quick after his double axe handle. The only way Vegeta can hit this move without 18 knowing is if she's blinded. Remember, 18 cannot sense energy. This is very important to note. But also, Vegeta cannot sense the androids. So if Vegeta could take the android's sight away, even hearing, it would come down to a huge game of luck. But this could work. Let's say Vegeta blew up the canyon with a blast capable of country destruction, creating a huge cloud of dusky, murky skies, nuclear bomb style, within that huge area. Now 18 would not be damaged, but the battle would take place there, with loud noises from the explosion and Earth's destruction, and 18 would be impaired. But this leads to a problem of how Vegeta could know where to land a direct hit with a super full power Saiyan blast from above that 18 cannot see or hear coming. It's a huge guessing game for him, and she has to stay within that area for this to work. But if this guy is smart enough, imagine he pulled off a move like Goku did against Jiren in the Tournament of Power. Key landmines. Imagine during the explosion and the dust clouds are still there, Vegeta would move quickly, dropping small portions of his energy as mines on the ground, and even some in the sky, but in a huge area. We're not talking about loads of powerful energy, we're talking about the smallest bits that's only used as a key radar for him if they get triggered. Then he quickly flies up to the top and starts charging his biggest attack. From above, if 18 starts moving in the area, the key is triggered and he can anticipate her direction and launch the energy attack unexpectedly, his full power blast, in hoping it's got large enough force to cripple the equally powered 18, large enough not to take her energy away, but maybe damage her arms, legs, abs, break her neck, whatever, with the force. Something that stops her functioning properly. Remember, 18 is not immortal, and she cannot regenerate. She is flesh and blood, and having infinite energy with serious damage sustained is like trying to drink 500 Red Bulls and punch with a broken arm. You ain't hitting hard at all. Now, if this connects and Vegeta played it right, he could go down there with his remaining energy and go operate on 18's body. I'm talking about more disabling moves, breaking her arms, snapping her knee joints, moves that render infinite stamina useless if they can't hit anyone or move. Vegeta's goal would be to disable her when she's recovering down there, and hopefully, even if his super strong collected energy blast hit her, it would hopefully knock her out cold for a few minutes for Vegeta to continue a serious assault on her. But he has to act fast and use his energy precisely and with intelligence, and personally, with a lot of luck on his side. If I had to place a bet on how likely this is, it would be extremely unlikely. Out of 10 fights, Vegeta would probably at most win only one of them like this, and that's on a good day with 18 taken by surprise, because if she is aware of those tactics, she ain't falling for anything. But the way I've explained it to you, it's not impossible for a one-time only deal, just highly unlikely and relies on a ton of luck. But one thing we should not be ignorant of is Vegeta did indeed have awesome power and held his own against Android 18 even when she went full power, but he couldn't do it for long and there was a lot of mental factors at play.